Hello there, it's Monday morning and it is President's Day, so it's the 21st of February. And I thought what we would do today is be able to share a little content for you to help you as a buyer to write winning offers on the property. Right now, the market is hot. It's a seller's market for sure. And so if you're a buyer and you're wondering, I can't get my offers accepted, I want to be able to share with you some content that will hopefully help you in being able to get your offers selected. So I'm going to share this little presentation with you, and hopefully we can get you some strategies that will help you become the winning offer on that. So if you're thinking to yourself, wow, I can't seem to get my offer accepted, you're not alone. There's a lot of buyers out there that might be a little frustrated at the moment because the market is red hot for sellers. There's not enough inventory, and it is pretty tough. You're in a very competitive situation, at least here in the Orange County, California market, where we are. I do both listings as well as buyers. And I can tell you with the buyers, I try to implement these strategies to be able to help give my client the advantage that we're looking for in today's market. So we're going to look at three things today that can hopefully help you be able to, and there's more than three, but these are just three that can get you going on being able to get your offer accepted, and so that you can be the winning offer. So to be successful in this market, getting your offer accepted, we're going to look at being able to see the structure of your offer in a way that appeals to the seller. All right, not to yourself and what you need, but we're wanting to find out how can we structure our offer in a way that's going to be appealing to the seller. The second thing we'll look at is getting your lender involved in the process. And I can tell you, as a listing agent, this is one of the most important ones in addition to that offer structure. And then the last thing is we're going to gather as much information about the seller so that we can connect. So that's my job as a buyer's agent, to help you be able to find ways of connecting with the seller to get your offer looked at a little closer than the others. So let's look at offer structure. So in the offer structure, you have the contract that has multiple things. So it's not just price, you have time frames, you have other things about the offer that the sellers are looking at. It's 10 pages long plus in California. So the first thing that we have to understand is that the highest price doesn't always win. And that's a true statement. I had a recent buyer that I helped out, and they were able to be the winning offer, but they were not the highest offer. Why is that? Well, sellers have needs sometimes that the buyers don't know about. And so it's the job of the buyer's agent to be able to help somebody write a winning offer in such a way that the seller looks at it and says, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And it's written in such a way that they can sign it and enter into escrow. Now, I will admit that's a pretty rare thing because a lot of times they're countering. But I can tell you as a listing agent, sometimes when I'm countering an offer, it's because I'm cleaning up terms that the seller wants, time frames, who the stuff are. So we're going to look at that and help ask the right questions. And that's really how it's going to be done, is that an experienced agent asks a lot of questions. So here's a few questions, not all of them, but here's a few questions that they should be asking. Why is the seller moving? So this could uncover some motivation. And so that's important to know. We also want to find out if there's any special needs that the seller has that we should know about. And that could be that they have a new job starting and they don't want to move twice. So when the close of escrow happens versus when they actually move out can be different, or maybe it's a longer escrow period and things like that. So you want to find that out. So you also want to find out, hey, does closing quickly help, or does that hurt the seller? So that's one of the questions you should ask. You also want to find out what you're up against as a buyer. Is the seller just a bottom line kind of person and they don't care really about anything else other than the bottom line? That may be important. And if it is, you want to maybe take some things out of the offer that would normally get written in, like home warranty plans and other types of things that will cost the seller money. And if it's not a big deal for you, that either you can pay for it or have it removed out of. So taking the property as is one of them. Not having termite repair is another cost. So if you can find that out up front, you can save yourself a lot of headache by writing that offer in the way that they want to see it. The other thing is what we kind of refer to right now as the preferred provider. So who's going to be the escrow, who's going to be the title, who's going to do the natural hazard report zone, who's going to do X, Y, and Z. So if you find that out up front, the other agent should be able to tell your agent, and you can just just write that into the offer. Otherwise, sometimes they have to counter that, and it just drags out in time. And in a competitive market, they may get another offer quickly, and before you can wrap it up, and you get beat out. So that's the other thing. The other number 6 there is the seller expecting less time frames than what the standard contract allows for. So in the state of California, the way our contracts are written, you have 17 days for the loan, 17 days for inspections, and you certain number of days to review the seller disclosures and things like that. So you want to find out, hey, is the seller looking for shortened timeframes? There's no reason, if you have an inspector on hand, that you can't get that inspection done in the first 5 to 7 days. Get on the schedule, and your agent can help you do that. The other thing you want to find out, this is important, when if the seller's going to be reviewing offers right away. And even if they tell you that, hey, we're going to be reviewing next Wednesday, get your offer in, because they may change their mind if they get the right offer. So you want to find that out, but you also want to get your offer in. The worst thing that can happen is you think that you have till Wednesday to submit the offer, and so you don't put it in, and then you find out that the property's in escrow, and you're like, what happened? I thought you were going to do it on Wednesday. And the agent says, well, we got an offer that we couldn't refuse. Well, that needs to be your offer. And so you want to get your offer in right away and see if your agent can pull that off for you. All right. So the ultimate goal here is we want to find out all the information about what the seller is looking for up front and write it in the offer in such a way that they like that. All right, the second thing we're going to look at is getting your lender involved. And as I said before, this is a very important aspect of this. So getting your lender involved, sellers and listing agents alike, they want to be confident in the buyers. And your lender can help sell you on how confident they should be in you. So the fears that they have is, does the buyer actually qualify to buy this home? Or do they have the capability of financially making up the difference? If the appraisal falls in short, they may go with another offer that has more money down or even more in reserves, simply because if there's a problem there, that buyer might be more motivated to be able to make up any difference. And that may make all the difference for that seller in choosing an offer. The other thing is buying a home stretching the buyer's budget? There's certain questions that your agent can ask the lender. Hey, what are the back end ratios? And understanding those ratios, the higher that ratio, the more it absorbs of what their gross income is. The higher that number, the less qualified they become. So you want to know that up front. So a quick proactive call from the lender to the listing agent can go a long way, because they're, again, going to be able to answer those questions that we just talked about, selling you and your financial strength to the listing agent, who then in turn represents you in before the seller. So you'd be surprised at how many lenders don't actually make this call. I've had listings where I get one phone call from one lender, and he says, hey, here's the qualifications of my client. He basically answers all the questions, and no other lenders called me from the 4 other offers we had. And so I can be able to confidently go to the seller and say, I'm not sure about these other ones because they won't call me back, or they didn't call me. And sometimes agents are too busy to call. If they've got 10 or 15 offers, they may not be able to call through all of those. So a quick proactive call from your lender is going to go a long way. And really the ultimate goal here is that your lender can help you stand out amongst your competition. So the last thing we want to talk about is do a little research. Now, this may seem a little bit stockish to you, but you want to find out as much information that you can about the seller as possible. Remember, you're just looking to try to get a little competitive edge over the next guy. So if possible, have your agent try to find out who the seller is. You can do that through a title search. And be able to find out if it's not an entity or an LLC or something like that. If it's an individual, you can then start looking them up on social media, find out who their friends are, identifying common interests even. So when you look at them on Facebook or Instagram or even LinkedIn, oftentimes you'll be able to discover some things that you might have in common, that when you write your cover letter, which is in the end, you're going to write a cover letter explaining to them why you love their property and how much it is meant to you to be able to live in this home and how great they took care of it. But also you want to say, hey, by the way, I know Jim, Baker, and you guys know Jim Baker, and we're best friends behind the scenes, and so are you. And whatever the advantage you can get by knowing the same people, or even identifying something that they love clearly by their social media posts that maybe you do too. So that can give you a little advantage as well. So I hope that helps you out a little bit today as a buyer. Don't get frustrated. Keep going out there. If you like this content, please hit the subscribe button and smash that like button for me. Helps me to understand what you guys like and what you don't like. All right. Thanks. Have a great day.